Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Fenstermaker, director of the Chapel Concerts. Welcome. I wanted to tell you about the next concert we're having. This is the 5th of 10, and the next one is an organ recital by Dexter Kennedy, who is the recently appointed music director, organist, and choirmaster at Trinity by the Cove Episcopal Church here in Naples. He's an award-winning recitalist. He plays with the Boston Symphony quite often. He's made recordings. He's got a prize at Chartres International Organ Competition. It'll be top of the line. A friend of mine says, doesn't matter what kind of music is, if it's really top of the line, people will like it. And I think this concert and the next concert illustrate that the variety of music that we can enjoy here. And ever since Gershwin, so-called classical music and so-called popular music have come more together. The lines between them almost non-existent now. I remember when I was a kid, the Modern Jazz Quartet played in Carnegie Hall in white tie and tails. Imagine what a thing that was. And of course, for young people, Gershwin is classical music. So I'm so happy that we have the Anderson brothers here with their guitarist, Adam. They're all from Manhattan. They all went to Juilliard. What a group of young people this is. It's just amazing. We're so happy to welcome them back to Moorings Park after several years. The Anderson brothers. Please welcome them.
Thank you all very much. We hope you enjoyed the show. That does it for us this afternoon. All right, we'll play an encore. Well, it's been said that Irving Berlin was so American that he made apple pie look un. How was it that a non-native speaking Russian immigrant who only attained a formal education up to the 6th grade so eloquently expressed the feelings of Americans through times of war, financial crisis, and cultural revolution? Irving Berlin is considered to be the first in our line of great American songwriters, even though he was the smallest at 5'6", 130 pounds. Throughout his entire career, he wrote over 1,500 compositions, and we've only got an hour this evening, so we better get going. His family came to the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the very early 1900s, and they settled in an apartment just south of the recently formed Katz Delicatessen in the Lower East Side, where they discovered the Yiddish theater district. And Irving Berlin's mother worked as a midwife, and his brothers and sisters worked in sweatshops and cigar rolling stores. But unfortunately, Irving Berlin lost his father when he was very young, so he had to find a way to make money for the family. So he got a job as a singing waiter, where he would come and tend the tables and sing. So that's where he learned how to sing. And his first big hit song is the song that we opened up with this evening, and that was called Alexander's Ragtime Band. And in fact, this song, when Irving Berlin was only in his 20s, it made him one of the richest celebrities in America. And it sparked a craze of ragtime dancing and music all around the world. And so today we're here to celebrate Irving Berlin and all the great music that he wrote. After Alexander's Ragtime Band, we gave you a hit song that was introduced by Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers that was called Cheek to Cheek. And we're going to continue and move right along. This is another one that was made famous by Fred Astaire. It's called Isn't This a Lovely Day? Thank you. Well, the young Irving Berlin was famous at this point, but he hadn't broken into the Broadway scene in New York yet. But he got an opportunity when a producer secretly slipped one of Berlin's new songs into a Richard Rodgers musical. And the opening night of this musical, after Berlin's song was presented in the middle of the show, the audience demanded an encore of the song. And then all the dancers and the singers reset and they did the song again. And then the audience demanded another encore of the song. After the 24th repetition of this song, the star singer, Belle Baker, collapsed from exhaustion. And Irving Berlin was sitting right in the front row, and he finished singing the song that was Blue Skies. And unfortunately, the show was a flop, but the song lived on and really launched Berlin's career as a songwriter in Tin Pan Alley and on Broadway. And Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart were pissed off, to say the least. But there's so much we can say about Irving Berlin. Not only did he enter so many different realms of American popular music, but just as a person, he was incredible. He would write a song every single day. He had an incredible work ethic. He was constantly writing new songs aimed at different groups in society. When there was an influx of new immigrants, he would write a song just specifically for them. When a big group of Hawaiians would come, he wrote a song called That Hula Hula. When there was a big influx of Scottish immigrants, he wrote a song called Alexander's Bagpipe Band. He was just always looking for new opportunities. And this is just the kind of guy he was from when he was young up all the way until when he was in his 80s. So when he was in his early 30s, he fell in love. And he fell in love with an upper-class Irish Catholic socialite. Uh-oh. Her name was Ellen Mackey, and Ellen's father was not pleased. He did not approve of Berlin, and he sent Ellen off to Europe to find other suitors, and he even hired a private investigator to spy on Berlin. But Berlin was able to woo her back to America, and in fact, the two of them were married in New York City with only 2 people in attendance. But the next day, the New York Times reported a scandalous marriage. But Ellen and Irving Berlin ended up being married for, I believe it was 48 years, and they had 3 children. And we'd like to play now the song that Irving Berlin wrote as a wedding present for Ellen. This is called Always. By the way, I should have mentioned, whenever we perform as a trio, we always encourage our audiences to be as rowdy as possible. So hooting, hollering, clapping, stomping your feet, dancing, it's all fair game as long as you keep your clothes on. I think we'll be all right. Thank you all for being such a great audience. We're having a blast performing for you all. And that last song was another Berlin classic that maybe didn't break its way quite into the #1 hit status, but a trombone player who you might be a little bit familiar with by the name of Tommy Dorsey had a hit recording of that. That was called Marie. And, so many things about Berlin's career and his style and his life were so interesting. And one thing in particular that a lot of people don't know about Irving Berlin is that he could never read or write music. He was self-taught, and he had assistants that would come over to his house, and they would play the piano, and they would write out what he kind of would hum or sing when he was writing a song. So he was kind of a self-made man, and he taught music kind of himself. And in fact, whenever he did play the piano, he only used the black keys. He always played in one key. He played in the F sharp on the piano, and there's actually footage of him playing the piano. And when he was in his 30s, he actually had a special piano made for him where on the side of it, it had a big lever, and you could transpose the piano. So he could stay on the black keys, but it would change to another key. And even, musicians knew about Irving Berlin and knew about this quality of his songwriting. And even Igor Stravinsky commented on it, and he said, maybe Irving Berlin was right after all. It actually helps if you don't know what you're doing. So Berlin, like I said, he would write music every day, and he was unique. Along with Cole Porter, the two of them were really the only songwriters who also wrote lyrics to their songs in addition, because most songwriters had a lyricist, that would kind of pair up all the lyrics with their songs. Someone like Ira Gershwin or someone like that would write the songs. But Irving Berlin did it all on his own, which is pretty incredible. Now, we're so fortunate to have this guitarist with us this afternoon. He's a great musician. Yeah, how about a hand? And Adam, about 5 years ago, was hand-selected by one of the great interpreters and performers of the Great American Songbook. This pianist and vocalist traveled all around the world and played some of these great Berlin songs, but he was kind of an encyclopedia. He knew, thousands of these great songs. And his name was Freddie. His name was Freddie Cole. Now, if you haven't heard of Freddie Cole, that's quite all right. But if you haven't heard of his brother, we're going to be upset, because his brother was Nat King Cole. And so Freddie Cole was similar to Nat King Cole, a great pianist and a great singer and a great just artist of the Great American Songbook. And Adam toured with him around the world for a couple of years. And we'd like to do a Berlin song now that Adam played with Freddie Cole that was made famous by Nat King Cole. We hope you enjoy What'll I Do? Thank you very much. Well, we hope you definitely recognize that one. Of course, that was from Beethoven's Second Symphony. No, that was also Irving Berlin from his masterpiece, Annie Get Your Gun, called There's No Business Like Show Business. And that was kind of a big hit later in Berlin's career. At a certain point, he had so much success in so many areas, but there were new composers kind of coming in, and he felt a little out of touch with Broadway. But when Jerome Kern suddenly passed away, the producers asked Irving Berlin to kind of fill Kern's shoes and compose the music for Annie Get Your Gun, and he did a great job, I think, and many of the producers and the funders of the show didn't think someone could really step in and fill Jerome Kern's shoes, but Irving Berlin did a fantastic job. We're going to move right along now and play a song that is very famous and well played among jazz musicians in particular, because when we hear Irving Berlin's songs, you know, some of them we're not going to play, like as I mentioned, there's so many of them, like God Bless America, or very simple singable songs. There's also extremely complex songs that Berlin wrote, and we're going to play one of them, and it was introduced and made famous by a young singer named Frank Sinatra. And he sung this one on the radio. It's called How Deep is the Ocean? Thank you. Thank you very much. How about a hand on the guitar this evening? Adam Mazzini. Also, this evening on the upright bass, playing on the low notes, Adam Mazzini. And laying down the foundation for all the rhythm on the drum set, Adam Mazzini. Yes. Well, that was another song from Annie Get Your Gun, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. And it was actually a song that my brother and I learned the lyrics to before we even heard the song when we were growing up. But it's been such a thrill for us to spend some time with you, and the three of us are coming from Manhattan, so this is like a little vacation for us coming down here, and we're just amazed about how much space there is here. I mean, this stage is much bigger than our whole apartments combined. So, And we sincerely want to thank John Fenstermacher for inviting us here. He runs a fantastic series. Just the last concert here was led by a wonderful clarinetist named Franklin Cohen, who my brother have grown up, hearing about. He's just one of the greats of all time, and to be a part of the same concert series as him is just really an honor. I'd also like to mention, for many years, my brother and I had family living right here in Naples, so coming back to Naples it feels like a home away from home, and it's just been wonderful, apart from the weather. It's real big change from New York City, and it's been really a thrill to us to not only bring our music to you, but the music of Irving Berlin, who's such a wonderful presence in American music, especially on a patriotic day like today. After the concert, there's going to be a little reception behind us for those of you who'd like to join us. And again, we want to thank John Fenstermacher, who's a wonderful musician and music director here, for having us. So thanks, John, for having us. We're going to leave you with a song by Irving Berlin that was originally sung by the great Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, but more recently it was done in a movie called Young Frankenstein. And if you've seen Young Frankenstein, you know that the monster sings this one. It's called Puttin' on the Ritz. How about a hand? Adam Azinia. Peter Anderson. 1.